Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session. You are all pretty quiet out there, so I'm wondering if this is working out for you. If you have questions, what things would you like to see covered? Remember, this is a program for you to help you along your path of creating greater health, healing, living your mission. It's a big journey, but I hope to hold your hand every step of the way. So that's what this program is. So your involvement is what's going to make it whatever you want it to be, because you know, the area of health and healing is big. So I hope you're doing well out there. Drop me a line or two. Let me know how you're doing, if these are working out for you. And so I do also want to know if that's why I wanted to do the quick meet and greet. Yeah, I like to create a little bit more activity in the group for the group members to meet one another. And also to see if there's a better time. If there's a better time, so we can at least try to join in person, or maybe we do one thing in person. So I'm open to all kinds of things, but I need to hear from you. Will you please email me, text me, let me know what time, day works better for you so you can attend. If you have been listening to the videos, are they useful? What other topics would you like to see covered? How are you doing? So all of that. So just communicate with me, because I like to make it really good for you. But in order for that to happen, I need your participation and your involvement. So today, first of all, the numerology has always been something that I'm curious about. So today happens to be November 22nd, so 11/22/22. You know, it's the energy seeks alignment. What does that mean? So the energy seeks to express, to flow. When things are in alignment, it can flow better. It's kind of like the kink in the watering hose. When you remove it, water flows. So I think numbers like today's number, it's, you know, it's an opportunity for us to connect to spirit, because there's a better alignment. And so there's a lot of talk about manifestation, manifesting, and all of that is going on. I think one of the things we forget in manifestation is that we may forget that there's a big part of letting go. If you're consciously always, you know, there's one thing to set an intention and hoping our desires are met. We all want that. But I think if we hang on to it, if we keep remembering it, and if we keep thinking, why hasn't it happened? What did I do wrong? This is not working. It's not going to work, because we are holding it so tightly. There's no freedom in it. So it kind of leaves you alone. So how do we figure out a way to let go? You have to be okay without it. Whatever you want, it's okay to want it. But suppose it never happens, are you going to be okay? The lesson is, whatever we think we want on the external, whether it's money, relationships, to want great health, it already is an internal process. So it really is asking us to be finding everything within ourselves. Because whatever we want on the external, we want it because we think it's going to make us feel something. It's going to give us joy. We're going to be happier. We're going to be more excited. We're going to be able to do this, this, and that, right? So the process is And in a way, you know, I don't know who said this, that it's a good thing that things don't manifest right away because you're not ready to handle it. I think there was like a commercial or something. You think about elephants and all of a sudden elephants are in your living room. That could be a problem. So the point is, manifestation is more to do with letting go of whatever it is that you think you need and finding everything within you. When you're finding that joy, that freedom, that happiness within you, then the external world matches and sends you what you desired because it matches your vibration. Simply wanting something from the head space or from the heart space, always wanting can also present on the other side of it, there's lack, right? I want it because I don't have it. So if the inner feeling is, I don't have it, that's the vibration that is read by the universal energy. So it matches it with an experience like, I don't have it. I don't have that much money. I don't have that relationship. I don't have that home. I don't have that car. So in a way, by continuously asking the universe for the same thing, it's what you are really communicating to the universe is lack vibration. So, and that's why it doesn't manifest. That's why it doesn't come, because you're actually creating the lack by continuously asking. So intentions and our manifestation has to do with holding on to things a little loosely, not holding on to what we want so tightly. Because here's the truth. The truth is, if you ever wanted that something or someone because you thought it was going to be the thing, that's the ultimatum, and then you get it, and then you realize it really wasn't what you thought it would be. Right? So and there is nothing and there's no one outside of you that's going to give you the joy, the happiness, the fulfillment than you yourself. So talking about 11/22/22, it's a good day to connect with yourself, to align with yourself. The numbers, the energy is telling you there's alignment, but are you aligned with yourself? Are you aligned? Is your external life aligned with what you believe? Are you saying what you're doing? Or are you saying something different, doing something different? Are you thinking something different, but feeling something different? Are certain things important to you internally, but your external actions show totally a different thing, right? We do that, not always consciously. Sometimes we do that subconsciously. We kind of, we have all have gotten good at a certain extent to making ourselves appear to be X, Y, and Z in the world of internet, social media, etc. But when we pay attention to it, are you really standing behind the words that you use? Are you standing behind what you are saying or offering? So alignment really has to do with ultimately removing all the masks that we have put on. And it's nothing wrong to put the masks on because we live in a world. There's a lot of societal norms and rules. They're unwritten rules. Things are changing now, but that's where we're coming from. So at times we kind of didn't want to get noticed. didn't want to stand out, didn't want to be picked at. So we kind of momentarily became someone else. There's nothing wrong with it as long as you realize that that's a mask. That's not you, that you can put it on and take it off at will, consciously, not by default. The problem happens with the societal conditioning that we forget to remove the mask. Just like this pandemic, some people are never going to take the masks off, right? I still see a ton of people wearing masks because whatever. So alignment has to do with your actions, your thoughts, your words, aligning up with your core beliefs, with who you are. You practice what you preach. So how's that for the energy portals being open? It's always about inner work. And I wish that it were just some magic. 11/22/22, give me the magic. Not so much. The magic is really within. It's always time to do inner reflection, meditation, and just keep clearing the path. Keep clearing whatever is misaligned. Keep clearing whatever is the obstacle. Ultimately, we are, I think, are here to evolve our soul, get to know the truth of who we are. And along the way, when we are aligned, we are conscious, we get to enjoy good health, we get to enjoy prosperity, we get to enjoy good relationships, we get to enjoy good food. Let's not forget food. So we get to enjoy a lot, right, along the way. So this can be fun, but just never hold on to anything or anyone for dear life, like this is the end of all ends, because really, nothing is. Nothing is a big deal. The big deal is you. And even, we don't want to enter the inner world with our head. Why do I say that? There are scholars amongst us. There are those who are highly academically achieved professionals. And we have gotten there with our brains. We're smart. We work hard. We know how to get the A on the project, right? We move ahead. We quickly finish the courses. We take summer classes. We jump a grade. You've done that. I've done that. But the inner world, we cannot use the same model as we use for outer success for the inner model. We have to let go of achieving anything. We have to realize that actually there's nowhere to go, but we're going inside anyways. It's just to be curious, to explore the depths of who you are. It's a messy, organic process. It's not like, oh, if I meditated 4 times a day, will I get there quicker? No. So an example in my meditation class I give is if you put a cloth in a dye, it turns yellow dye, right? 10 minutes, it turns yellow. You take it out in the sun fades it. Even if you put the cloth in the dye for 10 hours, guess what happens? You put it in the sun still fades it. So sitting in the dye doesn't make it retain the yellowness. The retention comes from integrating the cloth being in the dye and in the sun. You put it back in the dye, you put it back in the sun, you put it back in the dye, you repeat it a few times so it becomes that the color becomes color fast. It doesn't fade in the sun. Inner work is like that. You meditate, you come out in the real world, it whoops you around. It's like, there goes my meditation out the window. There goes my calm and peace in pieces. So whether you do it for 20 minutes or you did it all day, the minute you get into the outer life, the minute you interact with, those people, family, friends, everything goes out the window. Anger comes up, the judgment comes up, the mental anguish, the jealousy, all kinds of stuff. It comes up. You're trying to do something, it didn't happen at the time you expected. The internet loses connection. Somebody was supposed to call, they don't call. You thought your VA was going to do this, and they didn't, even when you gave them written instructions. So why meditate if you're just never going to know how to handle the outer world? This is what happens when we are aligned more and more within ourselves, when the outer things happen, and they will continue to happen. You just have a bigger perspective. If you do get upset, you quickly come out of it. It's like you fall in the ditch, you come out of it quickly. You don't stay stuck there. And you go there less and less often. Nothing is a big deal. Nothing is a big deal, right? So you let life happen. You smile, you go with the flow. You may get upset, you may get pissed off, you may get annoyed. But the inner foundation is so strong that you can very quickly put it in perspective and come out of that predicament. So that's the point of it. So that's the point of the inner work. So though, we call this the spiritual path. It's kind of a confusing term. The spiritual path is a confusing term, because we see this path that we're walking on alone and no one is there. We see this path that is separate from our living. And we may see this as like a new modality or something else we have to do to be on a spiritual path. So really, the truth is the entire life is a spiritual path. We are here for a spiritual journey. We are spiritual being. Why? We are spirit first. Spirit is the non-physical part of us. From my understanding, spirit is something that changes from lifetime to lifetime. Soul is something that's the seed of you that never changes. So the seed of us is pure consciousness, God consciousness. Spirit it has the energetic imprints from each lifetime to lifetime. But it really does not matter all that much. What matters is we are, when we talk about, I like something, can I show you? I felt really good. Can I show that to you? No, I can't. This tasted really good. Can I show that to you? No. Right? I feel cold. You really can't show it. Maybe you can show somebody goosebumps on your skin, but so this sense that we have, or feeling, thinking, knowing, this is the non-physical part of our being. We are always that. We come from that. We always will be that. That is the imprints in that spirit is what transforms into our physical body. Mixed in with the genes, your specific gene type. My skin color is different from your skin color. My features are different from your features. So that comes from the genes, where we are the parents we are born into, the families we are born into. So we are spiritual beings because we are beings with a spirit. We are beings that have a non-physical part. We are spiritual beings in a human body, in a three-dimensional body, having this three-dimensional human experience. Part of the reason why, this is part of the reason, I think, why human journeying is so difficult, because there are a lot of things we have to navigate. We have to navigate our physicality. We have to navigate our spirituality. We have to navigate our heart and our head. We have to navigate through the world, which is telling us many times very contradictory, controversial, very different things than what we believe. And then we begin to believe that. So it's an interesting journey. We're not going to figure it out because it's not something to be figured out. It is something to be lived. You simply live your truth day to day in this very chaotic world. It's not easy. What is your truth? Even our truth changes. Our external truth kind of changes. Truth about, I knew this now, but now I know this. So the truth of who we are is like an ever-evolving, ever-revealing process, right? So it's one thing to say, I'm spirit, I'm soul. What does that mean? But then to be able to connect with it, that's another thing. Then to be able to infuse that connection in the conversation you're having, in the food you're cooking, in the conversation that I'm having with you. That takes a lifetime, right? And what is our clue as to, our clue always is, am I on the right path? Is this the right thing for me? Our clue is always our feeling sense, our senses, or our gut feeling, our sense, it's not the logical part of us. It's the sense, the gut sense is not logic. It's beyond the logic. It's better than the logic. It has knowing in it. If you're doing the right thing, you have a sense of that, you know it. If you are talking to somebody, your communication, what you said, what you did, you have a sense of that. If you're reading something, whether it resonates with you or not, you have a sense of that. It may totally resonate with somebody else. And you're like, how come it resonates with them and it doesn't resonate with me? What the heck are they seeing in this that I'm not seeing? That's the whole point. It has to resonate with you. So even that resonance, it's not a fixed thing, and it's not something we necessarily always know. It's the resonance, the alignment is an ever-evolving process. We're always in the process of getting to know ourselves deeper and deeper and deeper. That's why it's a journey. That's the spiritual journey. That's the soul journey. And we continue to get to know that, we continue to have those aha moments, right? So that's the process. So we can only work with what is presenting today. And what do we do with that today? What do we do with what's being presented to us? In the life's predicaments and challenges, when we get fixated on problems on hand, when we get too fixated on them, we want to solve that problem that we're having, it's difficult to find an answer because we're too fixated on it. When we're fixated on it, it blinds us to the possibilities. It's like, remember those times in high school or college, you had a project to do? You're doing it and halfway through, you just get stuck and you're panicking. It's like, no, I've got to do it. I've got to do it. I've got to do it. I've got to figure this out. What is this? But for the life of you, you can't figure it out. It's because you're too close to it. That's the time I remember I just shut everything down and just go for a bike ride or just go away, get away, watch TV, forget about it. So the blinders come off. So then all of a sudden I'm sitting and thinking, oh, now I know how to do it. Or sometimes it happens in dream. You're solving that problem that you got stuck on in your dream. It's because you created a distance. The distance, when we create a distance, we can see better. We can see more that's around us. So what was the point of that? So asking the bigger question. And the bigger question is, there are many, many big questions, like why this? Not everything has a big question. Okay, it's like your internet connection goes, power outage, whatever. The power is this power outage. The bigger question is, well, you can't do anything today. So might as well relax, shut everything down, relax, don't work, take a break. But in other life situations, when we keep butting our head against the same problem, when we keep butting our head against the same person, when we keep butting our head in the same relationship dynamic, when we keep doing the same thing over and over again, and the question to ask is there something I'm asked to see? Is there something that I'm supposed to learn from it? So what in your life is something that continues to repeat and is annoying the heck out of you? Why don't you just randomly ask a question? Why? Why is this happening? What is the point here? Why am I always feeling the same way? What is it in here for me? See what you get. What is it that I'm not seeing? What am I here to learn? How did this happen? So asking the bigger question can give us perspective. So bigger question allows that you move away, you step away from the situation at hand, give it space, give yourself space so you can see more. Step away from it and you may get the answer. That's how, when we are talking about spirituality, spirit, when you're asking the bigger question, you're asking that which is not visible to the naked eye or to the limiting mind. So you are looking into the spirit of things. When we're looking at repeating the energetic patterns, repeating patterns, doing the same thing again and again, these are patterns, right? So why do I keep on doing this? You are open to looking at that which is driving the action, which is the energy. The bigger part is the energy that's driving the action. You're asking to be shown that which cannot be seen to the naked eye, to the eye, with the eyes. So that's why you ask the bigger question, so you can connect with the energetics, connect with the spirituality, connect with the bigger picture of things. So you have better perspective. You can see more, the mind expands, our beliefs are no longer limiting us. Our beliefs can change once we have a bigger answer, we experience it. So that's the, that's the way to get connected with that which is larger. So these questions many times require that we go backwards internally. We are going backwards into the bigger picture of things. Since I mentioned a few times relationship dynamics, a couple of things I want to mention. It's a very confusing thing to practice spirituality in relationships. So I've heard, one person is always taking the high road. Other person continues to be whoever they are. So the high road can look like this. I cannot believe she or he could hurt me this way. But the high road is, well, you know, at least I learned something from it. Well, at least at least they did something more horrible. It's kind of like, you wake up in the morning to the worst news, to all kinds of bad news, right? Instead of going through the process of what's happening, you say, well, thank God that there's sun outside. So the point is, sometimes we get to the grateful part way too quickly. Yes, I'm grateful there's sun outside, but I'm pissed off right now. And until I get over that, I feel it. You cannot bypass what you feel. So that's spiritual bypassing. Spiritual bypassing is a spiritual facade, taking the high road. When someone continues to take, for example, say take jabs at you, but you keep taking the high road, you are avoiding the reality. Spirituality does not mean that we bypass our human experiences. It is all about having human experiences, but from a bigger perspective, and using those human experiences to go through the truth of who we are. So the process is messy. When we feel the pain and hurt or betrayal or resentment or anger and all of those glorious emotions that we go through, we cannot just package them up, put a nice bow tie over it and say, oh no, but because I'm spiritual, I'm just going to choose the path of love. When you really want to strangle somebody's neck, that's spiritual bypassing. I'm not suggesting go strangle their neck. I'm suggesting at least go through the feeling part of what it is that you feel. Remember that 6A technique that I've taught, I think, to most of you? There's a 6A technique. Feel what you feel, process what's happening within you. Then we can get to the good part. But what happens, we totally bypass the heart. We are in our head about spirituality. We neglect what situation we are in. And we're like, oh, because I'm so spiritual, I'm going to follow this love-based path. This love-based path is not a thing. It comes from having go through the muck of human life. Love comes once we know what to do with the pain. Love comes once we know how to accept. Love comes when we let go of judgment. Love comes when we let go of expectations. Love comes when we forgive. This is a process. It's a messy, difficult process. Spirituality is about going through the process in its full glory. Okay. So that's the spiritual bypassing. We can continue to talk about that. It's a huge topic. And also, being a spiritual person does not mean you become a doormat. Someone keeps beating you up. You are so spiritual. You're just not going to say anything. How does that feel? Feels like crap. Speak up for yourself. Take a stand. If you value your spirit, your soul, value who you are, why would you let anybody treat you in a way which makes you feel like you are a doormat? So this happens in relationships. That's spirituality gone wrong. So, we can call it spirituality. It's really about reality. What is it that you feel? You've got to feel that. You can't say don't feel it because I'm so spiritual, because it's a bit too late. You've already felt it. The energy has already hit the body. It's already in your tissues. You can't cover it up. So it's about being real. What do you feel? Feel it. That's what you're here to do, to have a human experience. And human experience is delightful, it's enjoyable, it's a pain in the butt. It's all of those things. Here's spirituality for you. All right, so let me know what you got out of it. Let me know if you have any questions. And I think that we don't have a session next week. We're done for this month. And then I'll see you in December. So again, don't forget, you're watching the videos. I want to know, are you watching the videos? Are they useful? I want to know, is there another day or time that can work better for you? Let me know. And I also would like us to interact a little bit more. It'll be fun. So let me know how to accomplish all of that. So communicate, please. You are way too quiet. All right. Oh, by the way, happy Thanksgiving. I know it's a Thanksgiving week, so I wish you all a wonderful, happy, joyous Thanksgiving, and I'll see you in December. Bye for now.